What's happening, guys? Spider-Man's new costume in Civil War to have some special effects. Welcome to Spider-Man News Roundup. Today we're talking some official news and rumors, and the first things first, Anthony Russo, the co-director of the upcoming Captain America Civil War, just recently spoke to a Super Interessante magazine, and he revealed some rather interesting details about Spidey's new costume. First of all, for months now we've been hearing that Spider-Man will have a bunch of suits in Civil War, such as Iron Spider-Man costume, handmade Spider-Man suit, and of course the classic version of the costume. Anthony was addressed all this news, to what he replied, quote, "Well, we did a lot of research and experimented with the looks of each character. We went through the same process with Spider-Man. We knew it was going to be someone young. It was very important to us because we wanted to give this essence to the character, because he is someone unique to Marvel Universe. Tom Holland is an amazing Spider-Man, people will love him. We're still working on a few things like the costume. He's not ready yet, because so much will be produced with special effects." Now at this point sounds like Spidey will wear the red and gold Iron Spider-Man costume, to what Anthony responded, quote, "The film will show a mix of what everyone is waiting for, with a little twist." Now this sounds rather interesting. We weren't expecting that, honestly. Spidey's costume to have some special effects at this point does sound like it is an Iron Spidey costume with red and blue classic colors, or it's vice versa. It might be Spider-Man's classic suit Tom Holland is wearing in Civil War proudly, with some high-tech attachments from, let's say, Tony Stark, who sort of upgraded this suit. So it's either Iron Spidey costume with classic Spider-Man colors, or classic Spider-Man costume sort of upgraded to look like Iron Spidey costume, or some high-tech devices placed upon it. Now what piece of costume will require special effects? I'd say whether it's eyes, which might reflect everything, or maybe it's Spidey's legs on his back, the gold-plated legs from the classic Iron Spidey costume from the comics. One thing for sure is that red and blue colors are present. Getting straight to the next piece of news, just recently Entertainment Weekly released this issue covering Civil War. Cool cover, cool interviews, but the most important thing about this magazine is that this stuff has been on the set of Civil War a couple of months ago, and what they've seen there, they actually revealed in this magazine. Apparently during their visit on the set of Civil War, they've spotted a huge battle scene which involved all the characters we know so far are actually in Civil War, except for one guy. They've seen a guy running around wearing red and blue colors. At first they thought it's actually a stuntman. They asked Kevin Feige, "Hey, was this guy we've seen on the battle scene actually a stunt guy?" To what Kevin Feige responded, quote, "Listen, if there was a cosplayer running around that set when you were there, I don't know what to tell you." However, what Entertainment Weekly stuff seen later on is rather interesting. Quote, "During the very same battle sequence, Robert Downey Jr. comes strolling by. He's laughing and talking with his arms slung over the shoulder of a young man who is doing some pinpoint Tom Holland cosplay, wearing a full Spider-Man suit except for the mask." So it was Tom Holland on the set wearing red and blue costume. I guess they were really far away, they couldn't really tell whether it's homemade, classic or Iron Spidey suit, but they've seen the colors and it's red and blue. So there you have it, Spider-Man is actually a part of battle sequence, most likely the other one, not the one we've seen in the trailer, some other one, and he's wearing a rather interesting costume there. Another huge reveal from Anthony Russo suggests that Spider-Man's role in Civil War isn't really small at all, in fact it is somewhat significant. The co-director reveals that they actually included Spider-Man right at the beginning of writing this story for Civil War. Spider-Man has always been a part of this story. Now we heard it previously that Marvel actually had plans for Spider-Man before the whole deal between Sony and Marvel happened, but to know that Spidey was a part of the Civil War story right from the get-go, well, it's rather surprising. Anthony comments on the whole complicated business between Marvel and Sony, and they actually heard rumors that Spider-Man might join Marvel, but it's a very unlikely possibility when he was still writing the story for the Civil War. In fact, when he just started writing the story for the Civil War, Marvel were telling him that, Spider-Man might not be a part of Civil War, Spider-Man might not join Marvel, so you better write a story without Spider-Man. The inclusion of the Spider-Man is plan B. But Anthony reveals the truth is they never had plan B. Spidey has always been a part of Civil War, and without the whole Marvel and Sony deal, he would have possibly had to rewrite some stuff for the Civil War. He does comment how important it was for them to reintroduce the character. Before getting to the rumors territory, here's the last official piece of news rumors coming from Tom Holland, actually some comments on his Spider-Man take. He actually reveals that his favorite Spider-Man comics are Ultimate Spider-Man. Here's a full quote: "There's lots of things I don't know about him. I mean, there are so many different versions of his story, and my favorite of which at the moment is the Ultimate Spider-Man. And the one thing I'm really excited about is that he's not a superhero that on his own, you know. He has connection with some of the most powerful people in Marvel Universe, so I'm quite excited to explore that and see if Marvel will go down that road, you know, which I'm sure they will." Tom also comments on this photo, which caused huge hype from fans around the world. "Tom does look like Ultimate Spider-Man, hooray, whoa!" But Tom says that his intentions weren't actually to pose like sort of Ultimate Peter Parker, instead he was trying to emulate Johnny Depp's early 90s look. Now let's talk about latest rumor. The rumors start with Devin Faraci over at Birth Movie's death, commenting on the fact that he heard some really positive things about the new Spider-Man movie, including whispers of a great villain choice. Straight after this tweet, a post on Reddit appeared. Now, Reddit's a weird place, some stuff there proved to be newsworthy, proved to be legit, and there's also lots of fake stuff, so take it with a grain of salt. And you know, like somebody said the other day, if you count all the times Sam Raimi had said take it with a grain of salt, that's what you get. So the guy on Reddit says that he has some information about the villains, upcoming villains for the upcoming Spider-Man solo film. First thing first is that Norman Osborn is the main villain, with J. Jonah Jameson and Scorpion also being featured. The film will have him declaring Spider-Man a public menace and placing a very public bounty on his head. The bounty draws out various criminals. Many of these criminals will not become the villains they become, but we will see Sandman, Electro and even Mysterio before they become villains. John hires McGurgan, who is not Scorpion yet but rather a PI. PI of course stands for Private Investigator, which Mark Gargan was in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 19, the very first issue he appeared. He later on appeared as Scorpion in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 20, and that's the story, alright. Jameson hires him to take on Spider-Man, pretty much that's it. You can read the whole post in the description box, it sort of explains what happens next. Like for example, it's actually Norman Osborn who's involved in the creation of the Scorpion, and it actually ends with Norman Osborn testing the Scorpion formula on himself, and of course it goes completely wrong and he most likely later on becomes Green Goblin. While the whole post does sound really fake, you can see Scorpion and J. Jonah Jameson work. You can establish J. Jonah Jameson intentions towards Spider-Man pretty early on. He's not really being nice to Spider-Man, he actually hates him so much that in the very first film he's actually responsible for the creation of the Scorpion and bringing McGurgan to this scene. Devin Faraci does mention that he heard about some great villain choice. Well, Scorpion to me doesn't really sound that great, it's more like Mysterio would be really a great villain choice, but that's my personal opinion. I can see some other people preferring Scorpion over Mysterio. So yeah, this rumor is in the description box, comes from Reddit. Let me know what you guys think, don't forget to like if you enjoy. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more news, and I'm out for now.